Another famous Marine is in the news recently, with whom you have a lot of history. Former Senator from Virginia, James Webb, said this last week on NPR.
Hung and I, my wife and I, are just thinking about what to do next. And I care a lot about where the country is, and we'll be sorting that out.
So that, I would say, is not a denial of interest in running for president. In fact, that would be, I think, journalistically seen as, given the question I'd ask, an expression of interest in the possibility of running for president.
Well, if you look at how I ran for the Senate, I announced 9 months to the day before the election with no money and no campaign staff. It takes me a while to decide things, and I'm not going to say one way or the other, really.
Oliver North, what would you think of a James Webb run for the presidency?
Look, Jim and I are classmates. Jim and I were contestants against one another as boxers at the Naval Academy.
Very famous match.
Well,
I believe you won. Am I right?
My recollection.
It went the distance, though, right?
It did. And the next year, he dropped down a weight class to avoid me, and a classmate of ours, Tommy Hayes, who was actually a real 145-pounder, beat the living tar out of him because Jim lost so much weight. Look at Jim Webb is a noble warrior. He is a brave man. He's a war hero. He picked the wrong darn party to run for the Senate in. He stepped aside from it. My sense is that he's probably not going to run because politics, particularly in Virginia, is a very rough and tumble business. I know.
But would it be good for him, for the Democrats, if he ran for the presidency?
Well, he'd certainly make a lot better Democrat than any of the ones that I know today.
Would you welcome him then, getting in?
Well, I'm a Republican. I desperately hope that we end up with a Republican president. And I think the dog catcher in Clark County, Virginia, where I live, would make a better doggone president than the one we've got today. But look, Jim Webb would make a great president, but I'm hoping that we have a Republican.